Steve, it's a pleasure to be speaking with you again today.
Yeah, good, Robert. Good to see you again.
So you're America's newest copper producer at the Johnson Camp mine in southern Arizona, Cochise County. So tell us about Johnson Camp and how it feels to be a real mining company now.
Yeah, look, really proud of the team down there, Robert. So been a long time coming. Been working on it for 12 months now on the construction. First production last month, first sales this month. Made in America copper. 99.99% pure copper that comes out of that plant. So it just goes straight into the American supply chain, pipe, wire, whatever. No further refining needed. So good stuff.
Okay, so you're ramping up now. I saw the news release last week that a truck came and picked up a bunch of copper cathode plates. Is it ramping up to the point you're going to have 2 trucks, 3 trucks, 4 trucks a week now?
I think we're probably going to be moving out sort of 1 to 2 trucks a week, but that's going to increase because right now we're operating one pile, which is the oxide pile on the leach pad. Mm-hmm. We have a separate pile, which is a sulfide leach pile, and we're working with Nuton on that. They're the Rio Tinto venture guys. Really good to be working with them. That sulfide is going to start leaching later this year, and then that will ramp up in the first half of next year. So when both streams come online at their full capacity, that's when we'll hit the 25 million pound per annum. And that's going to be sometime in the first half of next year.
Okay. So it's very important to understand at Gunnison, they basically have 3 deposits that they've outlined to date. We're talking about one of them, Johnson Camp, that's now an operating mine, but there's a much bigger deposit, a bigger pit, and you're doing some high value add programs to enhance the value of that. So can you tell us about that?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, we put a PEA out on that project. It was late last year, kind of rolled into the January this year, so it's hot off the press. Really big pit, sort of 170 million pound per annum style open pit project. Mostly oxide, so it produces 5/9 copper cathode right here in the US. So, that's just going to feed straight into the supply chain again. When we did that PEA, we identified a whole sort of bunch of value add type programs. Been working on them the last 6 months. You saw some news, last week on that, on the optical ore sorting we're doing. We're looking at non-traditional byproducts. We think all of these are just going to add value to the project. They're not in the current PEA. So anything we get out of them is just going to add value. And so we're excited to be releasing more news on that later this year.
So does that mean that you'll have a new economic study or pre-feasibility study in 2026?
What we're probably going to do is update the PEA with the high value so people understand the value that's been created by those programs in the last 6 months. And then we're going to roll that into a PFS next year. And we'll start the PFS next year. And we've already started some work on it, but, dollars in the ground next year.
So pre-feasibility study next year, that should really show the economics of the project to be more compelling than in the PEA possibly. So a lot of people are kind of curious about the re-rating potential. So let's just say ballpark, the market cap right now is about 100 million. What's the potential upside as this project advances forward to possibly being built?
Oh, look, it's huge, Robert, it's huge. This project, it's about a $1.3 billion US NPV after tax. And we use $4.12 copper in that, right? You plug in whatever copper price you want, but $4.12, there's a $1.3 billion NPV sitting in a company that's US with a market cap of 80 million US, okay? So our sort of price to net asset value is 0.1 or something like that. Most of the guys at this level of project are trading at a 0.3 or a 0.4. That's just a 3 to 4 times multiple on where we are today. If we get just up to our peers, we think we can do better than that because what we're trying to do with the PFS is also deliver a fully permitted project, not just a PFS in 2026 rolling into 27.
A fully permanent project.
That's what we'd like to do. Like, we're going to be starting some of the permitting activities on the big Gunnison pit next year. It was previously fully permitted as the in situ, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just, we have to amend those permits. They're significant amendments, but amending a permit, and it's all state. We don't have a federal nexus. So, we'd like to be able to deliver that product to the market. That's a huge value add.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's exciting, and I think that's where the real upside is here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's where the big upside is. But also, you can do more exploration because you guys have a big property package there in Cochise County. I saw a news release last week about an agreement with a tech startup. They're going to use this snazzy new technology to find rare earths deep in the ground. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. It's Lunison. They're a tech startup. They've been working. Their technology is actually quite advanced. The application to the mining industry less so, right? They've been using the technology, and it was kind of developed out of the defense sector. So the idea of the technology is that it can see deeper into the earth, 800 meters, maybe a kilometer down, and try and image what's below the ground. Not just image what's below the ground, but actually identify what's there. Like, is it sulfide? Could it be rare earth? Could it be, a different mineral like copper? So we've done a kind of conceptual deal with these guys to deploy their technology on our property, and we're going to look for not just new anomalies, but also run over our existing deposits, because most of our deposits are still open, and it'd be nice to see where they're going and target some drilling on that. So it's early days. It's just really a concept that we're working on with these guys now, but we're excited to deploy that.
Yeah, I feel like the company, well, I don't feel like it, the company did kind of go dormant for a couple of years, and I think people forgot about the quality of the assets you guys have. And now here we are in this environment where suddenly the federal government likes mining instead of being like the key adversary of mining, right? And we've got a bull market in copper and gold, right? So it's like a big game changer. So now you guys are generating a lot of news flow. There's a lot of action going on there in Arizona. So tell us about what's next. What's the key news flow that we can expect over the coming months from the company?
The big value add news flow is going to be this high value add program. Like, we've put a little bit out on that, but we have the byproducts coming. We'll update the PEA. We'd like to update the PEA before the end of the year. A bit of a stretch target, but we'd like to update it before the end of the year. And we have this, like we mentioned, sort of Strong and Harris. It's like a dormant asset. There's a PEA on that asset. It built its entire own plant and everything else. So we're looking at rolling that in to the whole Gunnison PEA, right? And get some value out of that, because we're not getting any value out of that asset right now. So I think that's really exciting stuff. Then on the Johnson Camp side, we're going to see sulfide leaching starting late this year. That's a game changer for the industry. That's a game changer.
A lot of eyes on that and what the results are going to be from the sulfide leaching.
Yeah. Well, all the test work's been great, so we're really confident. They're confident. They're spending a lot of money.
They're spending a lot of money.
So that's good.
They're spending a lot of money. It's a big bet on their technology. So let's see what happens there. Thank you, Stephen.
No worries.
Cheers.